How we doing, everybody? This is Brent Swansen from Midwest Muscle Report. We're here with Jill Diorio, fresh off of her Team Universe Women's Physique win. How are we doing,
Hey,
Jill?
I'm doing excellent. Finally, I was very excited to finally get that coveted IFBB Pro title. Been working hard to get it these last few shows, and it finally happened.
Awesome. Now, you're pretty new to the sport of women's physique. In talking to you earlier, if people have followed you, you competed in another federation in figure, and then you switched to women's physique. Kind of tell us your mindset behind that, and just kind of how you became a women's physique competitor.
Well, I competed in figure, and when the last figure show that I did, the judges' feedback for me was that I was too lean and muscular, which to me is not a bad problem to have.
No,
So
that's a
I was more than
compliment.
happy with that, and I had already been thinking about making the switch to women's physique anyway. So for me, that just kind of sealed the deal. So a few months, after that last show, I hopped on stage, took a shot at physique, and I placed second in that show. And then at the time, the women's physique was kind of going more towards that bigger, before they made the changes, in the judging and
Right.
stuff, more towards that bigger look. So when I started working with Shelby Starnes, he had decided that it would probably be better for me to, if I wanted to be competitive, to just take a good off season and reset and kind of grow my body a little bit and hit the stage when he felt I was ready. And for me, that was 15 months of a long off season. But I mean, the results, the changes. He just posted a comparison picture, a couple days ago, and even myself looking at it, I couldn't believe the changes that we made. It's,
Isn't that kind of crazy too? You know, we're always our own worst critics, and we kind of have in our mind what we want to look like. But I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I just got off of the show, and I was looking at some of the pictures, and I was like, "Is that me? Like, do I really
yeah, it's
look like that?"
crazy.
Not in an arrogant manner, but just being like, "Man, like I really accomplished that." Like it's it's a lot of work, and it's something you can be proud in just because a lot of people can't do this sport and obviously do it to the degree that you've done it so far. So um
Yeah, no, the picture, I mean, it was just a little mind blowing. I can't, this was the first time that I really had taken, a good dedicated off season. So I just can't wait to see. I'm very excited to see what we bring to the stage next for my pro debut.
right. And now you've kind of taken the short route to getting your IFBB Pro card. Now you competed this year to requalify, and then you competed in the Junior USAs and took third, correct?
Correct.
And then the
Yep.
Junior Nationals and took second, and then now
Yep.
went to Team U and won your pro card. So,
Yep.
are we shutting it down for an off season, or are we going to jump right into a pro show?
Yeah, there had been some talk about trying to get on the pro stage, this year within a few weeks. We threw out the Tampa Pro, but I kind of decided that, 6, 7 months of dieting for me, I just was ready for a bit of a break. And I didn't want to just do a pro show, just to do it and,
Right.
say that I did it. I won my pro card. Okay, great. I'm going to go do a pro show. Um, I always want to be competitive. I want to be in that first call out. I want to win.
Right.
So I just want to do it and go through the hassle of, the dieting and the travel, and all that stuff just to be third call out, or whatever. So we're gonna take some time off and work a little bit on some of my weaknesses and, come back with an even better package.
Awesome. Now let's kind of go into your training and your diet and things like that. And we had kind of talked before we started this interview about your cardio and about the amount of food that you're able to keep in while still keeping your conditioning. Because in
Yeah.
looking at your pictures and everything, I mean, me personally, if I was judging you, I think you're really close to being ready and to being, a top girl. Your conditioning's there. You're tight everywhere. You have good symmetry. And with another off season, obviously, you're just going to get better. But let's just kind of go a little bit into your training and your training methods and kind of how, your nutrition was during your prep.
So I work, I think I had mentioned before with Shelby Starnes, and he does actually my diet and my training. And I think he does a similar training method to John Meadows. So this past, my 15 months of my off season, we really worked to bring up my back, glutes, and hamstrings. Um, that definitely the progress was definitely made there. Still need to get my back, a little bit wider. I need to get a little more of that, that X factor going on. But I think, overall, the changes we made were great. And as far as my diet goes, my prep, you know, I competed in three other shows
Mm-hmm.
before I started working with Shelby, and it was the traditional, you cut out the carbs, you're doing, an hour of cardio a day, you're eating white fish and asparagus. I did that. And so whenever I started my prep with him and I was eating all of this food, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is great. And through the off season, he really, you got the whole eat to grow kind of scenario.
Right.
So we really pushed the food, and as you know, it's not always the best situation or the most comfortable. You go from one extreme to the next. You're almost like starving, and then it's like you're force feeding yourself.
Right.
They powered through it, and like his prep. I don't know. I don't dread the next one.
Right. Well, that's good. And I mean, if you're in it for the long haul,
Yeah.
I'm not one about starvation. And when you talk to the top pros, especially in women's physique, and I'm friends with a lot of them, most of them, like we talked about, don't go zero carb. Most of them aren't doing hours of cardio. And,
Yeah.
it's keep it simple.
I don't have
It's
time
just,
for that.
yeah, I go under the thing, keep it simple, stupid. Like if you can get by with, and not saying you don't work hard, but if you can get by with
Right.
less and you look better, why not? Because no judge is going to tell you, hey, did you eat your white fish? They're either going to say you need to tighten up or you're tight enough.
Right.
So it's just kind of like when you hear of all these girls who are doing hours upon hours of cardio and starving themselves, it's like it
I
makes
know. I
zero
feel bad.
sense. And a lot of
They
people
need a new
do it. A lot of
coach.
people do it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
need a coach who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's great. Now going kind of into your prep, what is your I guess what is your favorite part of training and prep, and then what is your least favorite part?
Um, I will say so. I do love training legs, and I think for me, a lot of people have come to know me by my calves,
Uh huh.
and I don't actually train those much. We kind of decided that we were going to like back them off. But I do like training legs. I think mostly probably because it's the one day a week that I actually have a workout partner, and
Right.
I train with my fiance that day. Um, and my least favorite part to train, I would say chest. I
Chest. Yeah.
don't, yeah, I'm not a
Well,
big fan,
well,
but I
for
need to bring it up. So,
yeah, I mean for a physique girl too. I mean, obviously for a guy that's a show muscle. You know what I
right,
mean? But
right,
for a girl, it's just kind of like,
yeah,
it is what it
yeah.
is. So that's great. Now what's your favorite cheat meal in the off season?
So my thing about cheat meals is that I don't ever want it to be bad. So I tend
Right.
to always go for the same thing because I know it's going to be good. So I'd have to say that my go-to is sushi and frozen yogurt.
Good. Well, hey, if it tastes good, that's
Yeah, you only get one a week, right? Usually,
yeah,
so it's got to
exactly.
be good. You don't want to waste it on something you end up disappointed.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And now the next thing I want to talk about is that I have mad respect for anybody who has important job outside of their competing, just because, I live with a women's physique competitor. I'm married to one who works 12-hour days and still
Yeah.
does it. And when I see other people, busting their butt to do it, I just have a lot of respect for that. So kind of let us in on your job and what you do and how you make your prep and your work life coincide.
So it's tough. You definitely have to stick to a routine and a schedule. I'm that same person. I do my food prep all over the weekend. So that way I just package up my meals and I just have to grab them out of the fridge every morning and they're good to go. I do have a professional, like full time job that I got to get to every day. I'm the vice president of finance for a construction management company. It's a small firm, so I kind of have my hands in a lot of stuff. I've been there for going on 18 years,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so it's good. I mean, they're definitely understanding and flexible, about you know me traveling for these shows, and you know, obviously it would have been nice to have won, my first shot out at Junior USA's back in May in Charleston, but that's not always reality. So, all right, here I go. I got to take another couple of days off, a month later, and Junior Nationals didn't quite work out. So, okay, here we go. I'm taking more time off in 2 weeks. So luckily, for me, they're understanding of that, and my hobby on the side, so to speak. But they absolutely hate when I cook my egg whites in the microwave. That would be their only complaint.
Yeah, egg whites can definitely stink up a room in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then you probably get a lot of people saying, "What are you eating? Why do you do that?" And it's like,
Yeah, and then even this week, I definitely enjoyed myself this week. I have some family visiting in town. And it was a little lax on the meal plan, but I'm very much like, I'm type A, like I like a plan. So I had gotten, my off season kind of reverse diet from Shelby on Monday. Tuesday, there I was. I walk into the office, with all my meals, and they're like, "What are you doing? I thought you won. What are you eating?" And I'm like, "Well, it doesn't mean that it stops. Like,
you got
I
new
still got
goals
goals. I
now.
still got things I got to do. I'm just eating more food now."
Yeah.
They're like, "It looks exactly the same." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat my eggs every day. Don't you guys worry."
Well, that's what makes you a pro, and that's what makes pros good. And that's,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen by chance. You know what I mean? It's a lifestyle, and
Yeah.
I think that's what some people, don't realize, that when you do make it a lifestyle, that's when you start to excel.
Right.
So,
It's not just the, 3, 4, 5 months or whatever that you're in prep. It's, the like my 15 months that I spent in that off season working and building. It was just the prep part of it and the dieting that revealed the progress.
yeah, exactly. Well, hey, Jill, I know it's getting late out there on the East Coast, and I just want to congratulate you again on your Team U win.
For more great videos, click on the links attached and get more info from Midwest Muscle Report.